I'm Sheena, and this is my research, Visibility in the Arts. For decades, disabled people have been marginalised within society, faced discrimination, and had their voices frequently excluded. In recent years, we have seen the representation of disability become more prevalent in mainstream media, and a rise in festivals dedicated to presenting the work of disabled artists. While there are positive steps in the right direction, there is still a question why 27 years from the Disability Discrimination Act was implemented, there's still a significant underrepresentation of disabled people in the cultural workforce. This research aimed to examine the barriers visually impaired dancers face when accessing the dance sector in Northern Ireland. It was completed through a multi-method approach, which included the lived experiences of 3 visually impaired dancers alongside practice-based research methods which use dance as a tool for data collection. One of the most significant findings that I had not anticipated was the relevance of the methodological process. Incorporating a multi-method approach reveals more about the research topic than expected. For instance, using dance unraveled different layers and interrogated the participants' embodied experiences in a familiar way to them. Following a 4-stage workshop design, explore, share, describe and respond meant the participants not only critically analysed their own discoveries but also each other's, further adding to the depth of knowledge gathered. This highlighted similarities in experiences as well as demonstrating just how individual each experience is. Most importantly, the role of dance as a research tool created a level playing field for all participants, and this was continued throughout with the decision to not include video or photography elements. The most prominent finding was just how challenging it is to be inclusive. The complexities and nuances which impact accessibility are immense. Simply offering audio description at your performance or workshop does not necessarily mean it is accessible. As highlighted by one participant who said, "The area of sight loss is such a wide spectrum, I had to accept that my creative audio description could not necessarily cater for everyone. Whilst no one solution can be offered, we can conclude that the inclusion of lived experiences will be integral to moving forward with the goal of inclusion." A question I kept coming back to was, where does responsibility lie? Whilst it can be agreed that the voice of the disabled person is integral to move forward, it should be noted that the heavy reliance on disabled people to always initiate change could in turn absolve others from responsibility. What I found within the research was the gap in connecting the access issues and underrepresentation to the inherent ableist structures which exist. Whether that's a lack of dance training, with many disabled dancers learning on the job, or how many art policies fail to deal with structural issues such as the uncertain working conditions, funding structures, and the often freelance nature of the work, all of which perpetuate the inequality of the sector. Simply highlighting complex barriers without taking responsibility for the broader issues at play would be entirely inadequate. Finally, understanding that the benefit of inclusion is not only to the advantage of the disabled dancer but also the wider dance sector is important to note. By increasing the visibility of the visually impaired dancer, we have the opportunity to create a new and innovative paradigm of dance.